All right, it's Tuesday evening, and we're back with weather for Weather Geeks after a few days off, including a day off yesterday on Labor Day, in which I had to pay attention to the weather a lot of the day because of all of the rain. Thanks to everyone who chimed in on social media, kind of supporting my posts that I put on Facebook and Twitter about, hey, these things happen sometimes. We don't like them to happen ever, really. Nobody likes to see a forecast bust, but on a holiday, that's especially tough and kind of impactful. So I put a post on there saying, hey, sorry about that. Things like this do happen, though, sometimes. We have a very difficult job trying to predict what a dynamic fluid sitting on top of a rotating sphere is going to do. That's what weather prediction is all about. And while our track record, I'll put it up against anybody else's. I think our forecasts, in fact, I know our forecasts are the most accurate you can find for our area. Sometimes the atmosphere is going to win. And yesterday it won one of those battles, and we had a much wetter day than expected with training thunderstorms. Let's get a little bit into the meteorology behind what happened yesterday. First of all, some fun statistics. Some places had pretty close to 4 inches worth of rain yesterday. If you have an acre of land, 4 inches of rain on top of that, how much is that? That's 108,616 gallons of water that fell on your 1 acre plot of land. It was a whole lot of rain. These showers and storms kept coming and coming, and the training nature of these led to the flash flooding problems that we did have, and 3 to 4 inch amounts were pretty common everywhere where you see kind of that brown color. A lot of Mahoning County, parts of Trumbull County, even southern Mercer County, and then a few spots down in Columbiana County, also 3 inches plus. Some of the lower amounts, southwestern Columbiana County and northeastern Mercer County, those were the relatively dry areas, even though 1 inch plus amounts were still pretty common in those spots. I wanted to show you the radar loop. These pushed in just after daybreak towards mid-morning, and then the problem was we had kind of a parallel flow in the atmosphere, both down here at the ground and then upstairs, and that led to these not having much southern momentum. It was more of a due west-east track that these things were taking, and so they just kept coming and coming and coming, and finally, by late evening or mid-evening, these things started to push off to the south. Now, we had training storms. Those happen sometimes. Those are our problem. But, you know, this is one of those situations where I am going to talk about climate change. And the changing climate, you can't draw a direct line between every single weather event and climate change. But what we can say is that climate change kind of loads the dice. It kind of increases the odds that any weather event could become extreme. Routine weather events become extreme with more frequency in the kind of climate that we now have as opposed to the climate we had 70, 80, 100 plus years ago. So we can't say yesterday's rains were because of climate change, but we can say events like we had yesterday, we can expect those to happen with increased frequency in the coming years. And there's easy evidence to find of increasing heavy rain events when you just look at a graphic like this. This is our list of wettest years on record here in Youngstown. Our weather records consistently go back to 1930 with a handful of decent records in the late 1800s. And you see how many recent years are on this list. 2011, 2018, 2019, last year, fourth wettest on record, 2006, 2003. And so, half this list or more, it has just occurred since the turn of the century. This year, with the exception of yesterday, has not been quite as wet as the last couple of years. All right, we do have a flood warning still out for the Braceville area in southwestern Trumbull County. Eagle Creek is running high, as it always does when it rains hard. Last observation taken at 5 p.m., 11.6 feet. Flood stage begins at 9.5 feet. A level of 11 feet or more will lead to some flooding on area roadways and make them kind of impassable. That being said, with the dry forecast for tonight and beyond, this is going to recede fairly quickly next 24 to 36 hours. Usually when we have a real heavy rain event in our area at this time of the year, it's because we're seeing some sort of tropical system remnants coming through, and we had that on this date back in 2004. You might remember this rain event. The rain from what was once Hurricane Francis dumped over 4 inches worth of rain on parts of our area, including at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Thankfully, nothing like that is occurring this evening. We do have a front off to our north and west. It's a doozy of a front, but it's going to stay off to our north and west, keeping the showers and storms locked up across northwest Ohio and into the upper Midwest. Easy to find where that front is. Look at the dew point charts this evening. We've got dew points locally in the soupy 60s, and the dew points are much lower, north and west of this front, out towards the upper Midwest. Now, this is part of the doozy of an early season front that is sinking slowly southward through the country, and, we talked about this a lot last week, that this was going to happen. Denver had triple-digit heat. A lot of the front range of the Rockies, triple-digit heat. Just 36 hours, 48 hours ago. Even yesterday was really hot. And now snow is falling, and temperatures are near freezing in Cheyenne and Denver. And the snow is adding up quickly, especially once you get up into the elevations, the higher elevations of the central Rockies. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories are out. The weather can be crazy in the Denver area and along the Front Range in the transition seasons, fall and spring. But even by Denver standards, this is really early in the season to see this kind of a blue norther cold front bringing this kind of a change. All right, we're going to have a rerun tomorrow. We're still on the warm side of the front tomorrow, so we'll get well into the 80s with a good deal of sun. Front then sags to the south and east tomorrow night into Thursday. It may start with some clouds Thursday. I think it brightens up some in the afternoon. It'll still be kind of muggy-ish on Thursday, but not as warm. We'll stay in the 70s Thursday. Looks like a beautiful day Friday. Another great evening for high school football coming up Friday evening. Dew points will take a nosedive a little bit towards the end of the week, but I do think the dew points will start coming up again this weekend, especially later Saturday and Saturday night, Sunday. That's also when our next good chance of showers and thunderstorms will be as we go into the second half of the weekend. All right, I did want to talk some about the longer range and what I mean by the longer range, the real longer range. Early in the month, we get an update from the European Center, their seasonal outlooks. And so we're getting to the time of the year that winter becomes of interest for a lot of people and what the modeling is showing. Here's a look at the latest European seasonal outlook for meteorological winter, December, January, February. Temperature anomalies are shown. Lots of oranges on the map here. Taken literally, this would be a pretty warm-looking winter for a lot of the lower 48 states. When we look at the overall jet stream configuration as we go month by month, here's a look at December off the European model, showing a big ridge southwest of the Gulf of Alaska, also in the northern Atlantic. And this would suggest December may actually be decent for snow and cold lovers, because you'd get some troughing looking like this and some blocking in the northern Atlantic. And this would suggest maybe we would have some opportunities for some cold and some snow. January also looks halfway decent, but then February looks like a blowtorch, according to this latest run. Now, any modeling, once you're talking 3, 4, 5 months away, you got to take it with a big grain of salt. But as we head into the winter season, it seems like a lock. We're going to be in a moderate La Nina across the Pacific Basin. And that, combined with some other factors, are suggesting at this early stage of the game that winter is not likely to be an especially cold and snowy one across our region. Maybe it'll be another dud like we had last year. All right, thanks for watching tonight on this extended version of Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here on Wednesday.